This video is called The 5 Main Productivity Killers for Most People. In the last couple of years, I've talked to thousands of people who had problems with their productivity. And actually, I taught a class at a university here in Berlin. And in that class, I talked about productivity. And what I saw with most students was simply that they had these 5 main productivity killers. And also the biggest problem actually was that they were aware of these 5 main productivity killers, but they simply didn't want to do anything about them, or they weren't able to do anything about them. So here in this video, I first of all want to show you these 5 main productivity killers, and then afterwards I will talk about how you can get rid of them. So again, I'm really excited for this video. If you have any questions, you can ask me these questions at any given time in the Udemy Q&A section, or you can send me a message via Udemy messaging. So let me present them to you. Actually, they're very simple. There's going to be nothing exciting here in this video except these 5 points. So first of all, reading interesting blogs. They're not related to your business, but sometimes they can be helpful. So what do I mean by that? First of all, there are hundreds of online newspapers, millions of online articles that could be interesting to you. And for example, when I look at Forbes magazine, because I love Forbes magazine, I see so many articles that could interest me, and also a lot of clickbait articles where I think, ooh, I need to know that. They distract me from the work that I'm doing. So just because I see something that interests me doesn't necessarily mean I have to click it. But the problem is, especially with college students that I taught these productivity hacks, is that they are so busy with studying and so busy in their work that they are looking for something that is easier for them than to study. So for example, when you're looking at a math problem, like a very difficult equation, you need to solve that equation, and then you look at your laptop and there's like this interesting article popping up and you think, wow, that is so interesting, I want to know that, and you're clicking on it. So we have clickbait here. They click on it and then they have a look at the article, they read through the article, and then on the right or perhaps on the bottom corner or something like that, they see another article. They think, well, I can spend a couple of minutes just clicking at that article. And then in that article will be a video, and they will be clicking on the video and they think, I could watch that video. And then they want to click on it to see it on YouTube, and then they see more on the right. And that is basically like a chain reaction. So first of all, you have that article that is distracting you, and then afterwards you have more and more content that is related to that article that is even more distracting you. So I can just simply give you the advice: stop watching these videos, and of course stop reading these articles. Don't get led somewhere that is not interesting, not important to you just because of clickbait. Then number 2, getting sucked into reading social media updates through receiving constant notifications. That is probably the number 1 productivity killers for people in college and also for people outside of college, and let's say in the range of 15 to let's say 30 or 35. So the problem with social media notifications is just simply that they don't add any value to your life. And I want you to have that kind of thinking, that you say, all right, there's something that gives me value and there's something that doesn't give me value. And you really have to think about it now in terms of value, not value, because if you only focus on the things that have no value to you, you will soon see in the future that it doesn't. So, for example, when you spend hours and hours on social media and you think, oh, this is interesting, this perhaps has some kind of value to me, but you see in a couple of years that it didn't have any value to you, you really have to get into a situation, into a kind of thinking mode where you can spot what is valuable and what is not valuable for you before it actually happens. So for example, you say, all right, social media notifications, think about them. Social media notifications, they don't have value to me. That's why I'll turn them off. For example, then saying, all right, there's this kind of online education course, let's say this Udemy course here, and you say, all right, this could have value to me, so I'm trying this out. I rather, for example, watch a Udemy course than actually look at all the notifications, because let's be frank, the notifications that we get on Facebook might be interesting, but they might not be helpful and they might not be valuable in any way. Then number 3, you might suffer from having inefficient processes, such as searching for passwords. That is one of the biggest problems that many people also have, especially again in college, because again, I taught this at a university. And the problem with just simply having inefficient processes is that they have to do things over and over and over again. For example, when I'm creating these online courses, I have a process laid out that is very easy for me to follow, and I can just very, very quickly finish all the courses that I'm actually publishing. So what I want you to do is not just, for example, get a great process when you work, but also a great kind of process when it's about passwords, when it's about files, or when it's about working in a team. For example, that you actually meet up with your friends over Skype, that everything works very quickly, that you don't have to figure things out, or for example, that you do it over Google Hangouts, or that you basically organize yourself over Slack or over Evernote, or whatever you want to do. You just simply need to get used to a couple of processes, and you have to stick to these processes. So for example, what I'm always doing is I use certain tools, I become really good at them, and I don't change my tools. For example, at some point, yes, I will add 1 or 2 tools, but most of the time I will stick with the tools that I have if the tools that are being presented to me do not have any value to me. So for example, I could use some kind of metrics kind of platform that is analyzing my social media pages and so on. But to be honest, I don't care about that. That's why I really don't need it. Or for example, I could go with some very fancy kind of calendar, but to be honest, I don't need it. I'm very happy with the simple calendar that I have. So always think in terms of value and not value. Then number 4, your inbox piling up or your productivity is constantly being interrupted. And that is the one thing that I see happening quite a lot. For example, you receive hundreds and hundreds of emails. Perhaps 1 or 2 of them are of value to you. Most others are actually, for example, some kind of spam messages, some kind of advertisements, and you think, I don't need them. They're unimportant to me, like completely unimportant to me, and I really don't want to even have a look at them. Well, first of all, get your process straight. Get your process straight in the sense that all of these messages will be automatically in your spam folder, and after 1 week they're going to be deleted. So optimize your process. And then afterwards, just simply get certain times where there's no distraction. Eliminate all the distractions that you have. That could be, for example, social media notifications. That could be calls. That could be people coming in. That could be your girlfriend, your boyfriend, could be your family, could be your kids. It doesn't really matter. Just try to really eradicate all the kind of let's call them just simply notifications that you get. Try to eradicate all of them and any kind of distraction. Then number 5, people that want to pick your brain. I see that happening so often because I'm creating these courses and people see that I'm creating these courses, and then they send me messages and simply want to pick my brain, but they don't offer me any value. And I'm saying, all right, here for people that buy my courses, absolutely, I will be your mentor, I will help you. But for people who do not buy my courses and come to me and say, oh, I need help with this, and this, and I tell them, well, my friend, but I don't get any value from it. What is actually my kind of advantage that I get from helping you? I'm sorry that this sounds now very kind of harsh, but it is the way you should be thinking. Do you get value from it, or do you get not value from it? So, for example, if there are people that want to pick your brain without driving toward a valuable relationship or a sale or a friendship, then you do not get any value from them. That's why they're unnecessary to you, and that's why you should not answer them. So for example, today I get a message from a guy from India, and his message was basically, jobless, need business, need money a lot, Leon, answer me. And I was like, I don't even know you, man. I will not be answering to something like that. You cannot just pick my brain. I will give you all of these informations, and then you also, even like in the way he wrote me a message, be completely impolite to me. So for example, when people pick your brain, they're very polite and they're very nice people. Perhaps you just want to do it because these people could actually be at some point in the future a sale or a great relationship or a great friendship. But when you have people that simply don't show any appreciation to you, then of course you should not be answering them, and you should not use the time in order to help them. Always think in the sense that you expect value from something. If you don't expect any value, then just simply don't do it.